Munafikiria ati ODM democracy irudi? Raila anaenda kusema wachanai na Orengo. He has his right. Democracy. Tangu ni democracy ikarudi kwa ODM. There is nothing like democracy.
So what if Raila Odinga, the man who once called Ruto the biggest thief, is about to betray him again? And what if this entire broad-based government was never really about unity, but survival? Because something strange just happened at the funeral of MP Ongondowere, something that most Kenyans missed. Raila Odinga stood before a grieving crowd and said one sentence that confirmed every fear, every rumor, and exposed the game he's been playing all along.
And the spokesman of the party is usually the Secretary General, Mr. Sifuna. When Mr. Sifuna speaks, he's speaking on behalf of the party.
That's it. That is the line. But it changes everything, because Edwin Sifuna, the ODM Secretary General, said this just a few days ago.
Huyu Ruto mumwambie tumechoka naye. Kama inatakana tubadilishe katiba ni kupunguza miaka ya Ruto, sio kuongeza atifike 7. We cannot wait to get an opportunity kutuma huyu mtu nyumbani kwa sababu kazi imemshinda.
And now Raila Odinga has confirmed that is the party's stand, the official ODM position. So the question is, if Raila Odinga is part of Ruto's government, why is his party declaring war on Ruto?
Sifuna, as the Secretary General of ODM, is talking Raila's mind. Na hiyo sky danganya na mtu.
And that, my friend, is where this whole story gets ugly. Because behind the handshakes, behind the unity speeches, behind the grand talks of peace and inclusivity, there is a betrayal brewing. A betrayal so calculated, so familiar, it almost feels like deja vu. And if you're not paying attention, you're the one who is being played. This is the dark truth about Raila Odinga.
Ruto can see that Raila can vie for president.
Now, Raila Odinga is a master of survival. You don't just stay 40 years in Kenyan politics without learning how to wear two faces. And right now, he's swearing both of them. On one side, you've got the unity Raila, shaking hands with Ruto, sitting in Bomas meetings, flying in global forums, and playing the statesman. But on the other side, he's deploying his people, his loyalists like Sifuna and Orengo, to keep ODM supporters fired up, angry, and ready to fight Ruto in 2027.
Aliniambia ya kwamba even after we donated our experts to government, ODM is not in government. Alisema mwenyewe. Na atarudia hapa. If ODM is not in government, the Secretary General of ODM cannot be in government. Surely, people.
It is the oldest con in Kenyan politics, saying one thing and meaning the other. And Raila has perfected it, because if the heat ever becomes too much, he'll just lift his hands and say, man, that wasn't me, that was the party's position. But that was until now. Now, he said it on record. Sifuna's position is ODM party's position. So, let's not kid ourselves. This is Raila's position too. But here is where it gets even darker, because Raila isn't playing the game alone.
If you are doubting what I'm saying, ask Uhuru's friend Akina Morathe. They will tell you that. He's the one who's pushing Raila to vie for president. Angalia anaona nani atatoa Ruto hapa. Anaona Raila anaweza.
There's a man in the shadows, pulling strings, setting the stage up for 2027. That man is none other than the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, you might be thinking, what does Uhuru have to do with all this? Well, here's the thing. Uhuru's silence during the whole Unity Government Act is not because he's playing a statesman. It's because he's quietly backing Raila for another presidential run. In the corridors of power, rumor has it that Uhuru sees Raila Odinga as his only chance to make Ruto a one-term president. And Raila, as always, is willing to play along. After all, why should he not? The game has worked for him before. Now, Raila has one more chance, with Uhuru's blessing, to take down Ruto once and for all in 2027. And that's where Raila's duo strategy kicks in. As we dig deeper, we see the full picture. ODM is not just sitting idle. No, it's been preparing for 2027 from the moment Raila and Ruto started their unity government charade. Let's break it down. On one side, ODM looks like a party of peace, a partner in the government, a supporter of the president's vision. But on the inside, it's a different story. Sifuna, Orengo, Nyong'o, these are just not Raila's loyalists. These are his insiders, his sword and shield for the upcoming battle. While Raila smiles to the cameras, They are out there speaking directly to the base, fueling the anger, the frustration. They are keeping the fire burning for the next election, building a narrative that Ruto's government has failed the people and that ODM is the answer. And Raila is playing it like a mastermind. He's allowing the pressure to build, allowing his party to attack Ruto, while he stays above it all, speaking in statesman-like tones. But make no mistake, it's all a part of the plan. The betrayal is in full motion, and Raila is making sure that the pieces are in place to claim his next shot at power.
So we became friends. We've been family friends for a long time.
Now, to fully understand the betrayal, we have to take a step back to examine Kenyatta's dynasty, the long shadow that looms over Kenya's politics. For years, Uhuru Kenyatta has been the face of the establishment, the powerful family that held sway over Kenya since independence. And now, it seems like Uhuru is still pulling the strings, even after leaving office. Why? Because, like his father before, Uhuru Kenyatta is playing the long game. He knows that Raila is his last shot at stopping Ruto from consolidating power. And in this political battlefield of Kenya, it is not just about today, it's about tomorrow, the next election, and the next decade. Uhuru Kenyatta's silence is not accident, it is strategy. A strategy that will come into full effect when Raila enters the race in 2027. But here's the thing, Uhuru is not just backing Raila out of loyalty, no. He's backing Raila because he needs him. But why? Because the Kenyatta family has a lot to lose, and they need someone in power who will protect their interests, their businesses, their legacy. If Ruto gets too comfortable, if he begins to strengthen his grip on Kenya, it could mean the end of the Kenyatta dynasty. And that's where Raila comes in.
If Raila will vie for president, Gachagua will not even support Matiang'i. Gachagua will support Raila.
Now, let's talk about Ruto. If you've been paying attention, you know that William Ruto's presidency has been full of contradictions. On one hand, he's been lauded for his hustler image, the man who rose from humble beginnings to take the highest office in the land. But on the other hand, he's made powerful enemies.
William Ruto alikuja hapa ukatudanganya na Biblia. Ukatuambia Uhuru Kenyatta ni mlevi tukakuamini. Ukatuambia Uhuru Kenyatta ni mzembe. Ukayangaisha serikali yake. Ukatudanganya sisi sote mpaka watu ya kanisa. Tukamkemea Uhuru Kenyatta ndugu yetu kiongozi wetu. Tukamwaibisha. Tukafanyia Uhuru Kenyatta madhambi yote. Tukakuja kujua wewe ulikuwa ni mbwa mwitu umevaa ngozi ya kondoo.
Enemies who are quietly working against him. Raila's betrayal is just the tip of the iceberg. Look closely, you will realize the cracks in Ruto's government. His allies are beginning to turn, and the whispers of discontent are starting to spread. This isn't just about Raila or ODM. The people in power are positioning themselves for 2027, and it's not just Raila who wants a piece of the pie. There are forces at play within Ruto's camp, quietly preparing the moment when they can make their move. And once Raila's betrayal fully unfolds, it could be the beginning of the end for Ruto's presidency. So, what's the truth behind the handshake and the smiles? What's the real agenda here? The truth is simple, it's about control. Raila, Uhuru, Ruto. They are not just fighting for power, they are fighting for the future of Kenya. Every handshake, every deal, every speech is part of a larger scheme. A scheme to control the narrative, the economy, and the future of this nation. And the real losers in this game are the Kenyan people. We've seen this play out over and over. Politicians get in power, make promises, then break them. Kenyans are left wondering, who really has our best interest at heart? The answer is simple, none of them. These politicians are playing a game of survival, a game where they will sell out the people for power and control. And as long as we keep falling for the same tricks, the cycle will continue.
So, in the game wa Kenya, and I'm telling you Kenyans for free, that he game unachezewa, my friend, you might not come out of it. The reason you are seeing Matiang'i there is because of Uhuru's brother, Muhoho. Muhoho is the one who is with Matiang'i, and I push Matiang'i. And I'm telling you this thing because it's the truth. Me, I have watched everything. I've analyzed. Uhuru ako hii side ya Raila. Because usikai danganywa na mtu. Sifuna kawezi kuwa na hiyo joto from nowhere. Don't be an idiot.
But there's still time for us to change this narrative. We, the people, we need to wake up. We can no longer afford to be the pawns in this game of politics. We can't let Ruto, Raila, Uhuru, or anyone else play with us. The next few years will be pivotal. The decision we make, the people we support, will shape Kenya for generations to come. But we have to ask ourselves, who are we really trusting? Because if we do not take a stand, if we do not start demanding accountability, we'll be trapped in the same cycle of betrayal and manipulation yet again. So ask yourself, is Raila really the savior? Is Ruto really the solution? Or are we simply being led down a path of destruction? The clock is ticking. Wake up.
Me, I'm analyzing for you things so that Kenyans, if you are tired of this leadership, if you want to take Ruto home, take all these people home. Go and drag an idiot out there and make him the president. Otherwise, hii ni chess game mmekelewa kwa meza. Chess game. Chess game.
The game is just beginning, and this time we cannot afford to be losers. This is not just about politics, it's about our future, and it's time to stop letting the same old faces control it. Stay tuned, the truth will come out, and when it does, it will shake the very foundation of Kenyan politics.
I have told you that's my own opinion. I might be wrong. But again, I might be right.